right, so there are four things that I do each year to get ready for the fishing season. I am ready to get some lines in the water. As a matter of fact, Saltwater Born just sent us these stickers. I'll put their link in the information below. They're always in the link below. Make sure you check out those guys as well. We got the Yeti ready. We're getting the boat ready. We're getting all of our equipment ready. So we're going to go ahead and show you these four things that we do each and every season just to get ready for the upcoming season. The first thing that we do to get ready for the season is to clean your reels and grease them. I clean my reels every time we go out. When we come back, I spray them off and I clean them off, make sure the sand and all that. I really use two different types of reels. I use the Penn Pursuits and the Shimano Saharas. Those are the two that I use. Karen likes the Shimanos. I like the Penns a little better, but that's just different feel and touch. But what we do is we want to make sure that we clean them. One of the first things that I do when I'm going to clean them is I take off the top, take off the spool. And once that spool is loose, it'll come right off, just like that. And the internals. Now the Penns are a sealed mechanism. These are pretty good, but you see I've got some debris in the bottom of that reel. So what I do is I've got a little bit of power lube here. This is just some like a lubricant greaser. And what I'll do is I'll spray this on a rag. And I will use that to clean on the inside of the reel. To kind of get any of that debris and stuff out. You can use just some soapy water as well. But you really want to make sure your drag mechanism and all those things are clean and free of debris. Also, what you can do is you can take a little Q-tip, wet it, and get that in there and see all that junk. You can just get all that out. Make sure that your reels are all nice and clean in there. And once they are all nice and clean, again, what I do is I take this rag and spray some spray grease on them. And I'll just put some grease right on the insides there. Not too much. Just trying to prevent the corrosion, especially for us inshore saltwater fishing guys. We want to make sure that we keep that good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wipe the inside around here, make sure we get the grease, some of that old grease off, and put the new grease back on. And then what I also do is I make sure to put a little bit of that grease just right around the pins and also on the reel itself, the handle, just to get that. And I've been doing this for years, and it does seem to do a pretty good job of keeping my reels ready to go for the season. I'll do the same things with the Shimanos, and just keep my reels in good shape. I don't spend a whole lot on my reels. These are about $100 each. I think that there's other brands that are maybe more expensive. Penn Pursuit's done pretty good for me. The Shimano Saharas have also done pretty good. We bang them up. We take them on the beach. So they all do pretty good there. And that's the first thing we do. Clean your reels, make sure that they're all nice and clean, and make sure that they are ready to go for the new season. So after I've cleaned my reels and after I've inspected them, make sure that the reels are in good condition, another thing that I do is, depending on if I need it or not, I restring my reels as needed. Now the Penns this year, I'm going to be using mono. And I know some of you guys are like, mono, that's like, how could you possibly be doing mono? Well, I grew up fishing with mono. Braid, I know people swear by it. I have not been a big fan of it in this last year. I think braid's got some issues, and I don't like it so as much as some people do. Knot strength seems to be a problem with it. And anyway, without going into the whole thing, you can put your comments in the comments below. Tell me how I'm wrong. But I'm going to be stringing my Penns up this year with mono. But I also inspect all of my reels to make sure that the line on them is good. If you notice on this one, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know if that's a wind knot that got tied back in there. Again, I go fishing with other people. They use my equipment. My kids use it. They don't always tell me if they got a wind knot in it. So I notice in here, there's something going on this rod. So I'm gonna take this string down until I find that issue. Maybe you have to put on new mono onto this one. I'm not going to go into how to restring reels. I do it at home. You can do it at the bait store, the tackle store. They'll do it for you. A lot of times you have to buy the string there before they're actually restring it for you. It's very easy to do at home, especially with the modern reels. They have the string keepers now on most of the reels, so it's actually pretty easy to do. You're tying a basic knots around the middle. Put a pencil in there. Have maybe one of your kids, your wife. You can actually hold it yourself if you want to between your feet. Whatever it is, just make sure you keep that line tight, reel it back on, restring your reels as needed. So that's the second thing that we do to get started, get ready for the new fishing season. Third thing that I do to get ready for the fishing season is inspecting my rods. Now, most of my rods are Ugly Sticks. I do have a couple of other brands that I use, but I know you spend a lot on rods. I have heard that, you need to spend more on your rods and your reels. I hear that, but Ugly Stick really has done a decent job. This one you can tell by the corrosion on the eyelets itself. This is an old rod. I've had it for quite a while, and it's landed a lot of fish and it's done really well for me. I take care of my rods. I rinse them off every time we come back from the water, but I inspect them. I'm looking for chips in them. I'm looking for anything that would let me believe that the rod, you feel the rod, just make sure it doesn't have any of those chips or bumps in it, because that's where the shatter points are going to be. I do use rod keepers as well, just like sleeves. You can get them really cheap on Amazon. Put the sleeves on the rods, but you just want to feel those rods, make sure that it doesn't have any chips or scrapes, because that's where the brake's going to go. But I do notice in inspecting this rod that the hook keeper is broken. So I'm going to show you how to fix that here very easily. First thing I'm going to do is to see the hook keeper is broken. Now, some people will hook their hooks onto the eyelets. That's a mistake. You don't want to do that. You can hook them into the back of the eyelet, not on the inside itself, but on the structure behind it. You can hook it there. But if you don't have a hook keeper, which all good rods should, there's a very simple way to fix this. So I'm going to take off the broken hook keeper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two different things. And this is how I'm going to make a hook keeper. It's very simple. I keep all kinds of hardware. It's just a habit I picked up from my dad and my grandfather to keep hanging on to all the hardware that you get from different things. And here, this is just a basic washer. It's a small washer. It's not very big. So I've got plenty of those, and I've got zip ties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that washer, I'm going to put my zip tie through it, and I'm going to make a very easy hook keeper on my rod. I'm just going to tighten this down just like so. Make sure that you can keep it flat up against the rod, just like that. Tighten it down real good so it really can't move. And that's going to be your hook keeper. So you can see, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to cut this side off, just like that. And now I have my hook keeper right there on my rod. I don't have to put it in the eyelets. And if rods don't come with the hook keeper, you can do that as well. But that's the third thing we do. We're getting ready for the fishing season, is inspect my rods, make sure they're all ready to go. There is one more thing that I do to get ready for the fishing season. I'm going to show you this. This is my garage. This is my wall of tackle. And one of the things that I do when I'm getting ready for the new fishing season is I inventory my tackle. I want to make sure that I have enough popping corks. I want to make sure I have the variety of popping corks I like to use. One of the things that I do is I keep on the wall different things that I use that I like. And so I keep them up there so I can remember what are the things that I use that I like. But I have all my different tackle here, and I just make sure I look at my gulps, my shrimp lures. I've got some extra line. I look at my lures, my hooks, make sure I have good hooks. And so I'm just taking a look at all these different things to make sure that I have the supplies that I need. Especially because this last year, if you'll remember, we ran into some problems where people were having trouble getting the inventory. They were having trouble getting the supplies in to go fishing. And so it became important. So that's just something I do every year. At the beginning of the year, I say, how are my hooks? How are my, these are the pompano rigs. Do I have enough pompano rigs? And so I just take a look at things and say, do I have the supplies that I need in order to make sure that my fishing season is successful? And I was talking to you earlier about those rod keepers, and here's an example of them. And they just go right on the rods. They just slip right on like a sleeve, and they work really well. I've got my other tackle lined up, got my chum bags here, and make sure that all of my tackle there is ready to go. And I inspect it all to make sure that I have what I need to make sure my fishing season is successful. So these are just some things that I do to get ready for the fishing season. I would love to hear the things that you do to get ready for the fishing season, because I don't know about you, but I am definitely ready to get out there on the water. I know my wife is. We're ready to get out there. I don't know how much we're going to be keeping this year because of the freeze, how that's going to affect fishing. We might be doing more catch and release, maybe some more beach fishing than normal, but we'll see how that goes. But we are looking forward to getting out there. Hopefully you're going to be following along on our adventures. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do so. Hit that notifications bell to get notified when things go live. We're doing very well with the channel. Really appreciate all of the support and all the love that you guys have given us. It's been great to see. We're looking forward to a great 2021 season. Hope to see you out there on the water. And until next time, may you always catch your limit.